Hello traders, welcome to session 155. In today's session you're going to be able to watch how I trade the ES2-tick Renko chart. Now sometimes I'll receive an email, well look, the 2-tick is just not tradable. I want you to remember that the tick chart that you trade, or sorry, the Renko chart, and the same goes with tick charts and even the time-based charts, all depend on the time of day and the speed of market. Now the Globex market, which is what I usually trade, is when the market closes at 5 p.m. the futures market, that is at 5 p.m. Eastern, and reopens at 6 p.m. Eastern. So right now it's a bit after 2 a.m. most of you are in bed. That is, it's after 2 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is nearly the London Open, but there's great trading conditions basically from 6 p.m. right through. Now if we were looking at trading the ES during the New York session, which is a few hours away yet, we definitely have to increase the time frame, and especially where right now we've got the war raging in the Middle East, so we're seeing a lot of volatility. But the 2-tick is tradable most of the time during the Globex session, as you will see. Now as we get into this, target $1,000 a day. It's not enough for you. For young guns want to earn a lot more, you simply increase your position size, and it doesn't matter which market you trade, whether it be futures, forex, or stocks, you can apply the exact same strategies too. Now traders, there is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose, and make sure you stay on the simulator until you're consistently profitable. Now my target on the 2-tick, as you will see in every one of my videos, the 2-tick target, that is, I've got a different target for different time frames that I trade, is 325 a day. Now I'm a very big one in POQ, power quitting. Nothing more frustrating. You've hit your target for the day, you decide to keep trading, you're getting tired, you have a couple of losses. So that works for me. So there, that's 3,250 on 10 contracts. In the video we're going to be playing back today of my live trading, 6 scalps for 6 wins. Okay, and so it's better I explain it on the video itself. Now with my videos I just hit record and I'll type in things, but I'm really focused on the trading itself, so I'll give you a running commentary. And today's trading, which I'll show you in a moment, same sort of thing actually, 6 from 6, 3,380 total different days here, and the power quitting finished there, and a couple of these were scalps. Now as we get underway, and I've recorded this but we won't have time to show this one, but we will on the other. Just a very quick advertisement, stay with me for a minute while I go through this. If you haven't already requested my ebook, The Truth About Day Trading, see the description link below. Better still, become a member. Everything you're about to see, all of my setups, my indicators, etc., are all included. There's nothing else to buy or invest in. If you have a trading platform other than NinjaTrader, I've got some indicators coded for most trading platforms, but either way I'll give you my indicator settings so you can replicate my charts almost exactly on any good trading platform. Now when you become a member, you do have lifetime access to the members area, which would be the most comprehensive traders website for scalpers, that is, in the world today, so for active traders. So I won't go through all of these, and I have a bonus for you where when you invest in a program with me, I also allow you to attend 8 of my live coaching sessions included in that $297. Now I hold these live trading sessions 6 to 8 p.m. every Tuesday and Wednesday. They are recorded if you can't attend. Now I've been running these, by the way, for years, and in these, for an example, in March 2026 I've got 315 subscribers, and I didn't mention I also run a live trading room, and I've got 287 members in that as well. And so we're actually up to month 94. I've been running these monthly coaching sessions, and in each session, if I was to click on it, which this is just a screenshot, you'd see I've got extra handouts, PowerPoints, etc. So the purpose of the coaching sessions is to teach you step by step how to, besides the videos in the members area, is how to trade my setups. Now, one thing I want to say, don't be overwhelmed. If you're a brand new trader, right from the get-go, I teach you the best strategies to set and to start with, and I'll point those out as we go along. So all of that for $297. You can join in the description link below. Now let's get to it. First of all, I think it's very important you understand my trading philosophy. This is a great movie from 2011, Moneyball. Stay with me. Here's what happened, traders. What happens as soon as you get into laying the content, or what the foundation of trading, so many traders want to switch off and they don't want to see or understand where I'm coming from, and they wonder why they never make money in the market. Traders, you've got to understand some of the basics and like why scalping works so well. So please stay with me for a couple of minutes. Now with this movie 2011, it's a great movie. I'd recommend you watch it. They talk about, rather than trying to get a home run, just get on base. That's what scalping is. Get in, get out, get paid. Get in, get out, get paid, as you're about to see in my video. And it just makes it easier. It means you've got a smaller stop loss, you can have a smaller account size. It just happens to work really well. Now, one of the negatives in trading the ES big contract is the amount of funds you need to have to trade it correctly. Your broker will tell you, look, you only need $500 to $1,000 for intraday margins. Well, that may be so, but if you've got a 10 tick stop loss, which is what I will have on the ES, up to a 10 tick stop loss, that's $125. We never ever want to risk any more than 2%. What that means is we need to have an account size of around 6,250 on the big contract. Now you might even have $6,000-7,000. Well, you don't want to start on the big contract. You want to start on the simulator. As your coach, I'm going to teach you the right way: simulator, micro, then the big contract. Unfortunately, there's so many people who are greedy, and look, if it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. Now, it's not rocket science, but you've got to approach it correctly. We are risk managers. That is, we're money managers. We're managing our own funds. We've got to manage it correctly. And I think it was Larry Height years ago, a billionaire hedge fund manager. He said, I never ever risk any more than 1% of my fund in a position. That way I can be indifferent when it comes to the trade, because you've got a low risk. So if you do have the funds or you don't have the funds, start on the micro. Now on the micro here, traders, if we went for just $32 a day on the micro, within 12 weeks we've now got our funds to go across and start trading the big contract. By the way, I've got a small training video on this spreadsheet. Go in the description link below later and you can download this. We'll send it to you as well. Now in 12 weeks we can now roll over and start trading the big contract. Now I'm going to give you the why you should be doing this, and then when we go to the video I'll show you the how. Because when you've got a big enough why I want this, I want to have a 10 grand a week income, the how will appear if you put some work in. Now if you trade the 2 tick with a 10 tick stop, remember our rule, never more than 2%, that's $125. Then you go for $325 a day, which means that in 10 weeks your account size, and I've got to say legally potentially, is 48,500. Actually in 13 weeks you can, that's a 10,000 a week income. In 13 weeks it's now a $20,000 a week income, and your account size is just under 100,000. I'm going to show you the how in a minute, how to do this. Now with that's only 26 ticks a day. That's 26 net ticks a day. Now how do we do it? We want to have 4 8-tick trades a day. Less your commissions, that's 380. We're after 325, and stay with me, I'm going to show you how to do it. Now what about for the young guns? Okay, that suits me. The young guns, say if you want to go for 500 a day, well, you're willing to maybe spend 2 to 3 hours. I like to get in, get out, get paid, usually within half an hour to an hour. I'm 66, that suits me. However, for the young guys here, let's go for, whoops, sorry about that, 500 a day. You're there in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, potentially 25 grand a week. How do you do it? 6 8 tick trades a day, less your commissions. Now that's net, of course, after any losses. I will show you in a moment, just looking at the markets here right now, how to do that. Okay, that's 570. Now for those that have burnt their accounts in the past, I won't spend too much time on this now, but I teach you how to develop the belief that you can do it. For an example, if you only have 2 7-tick trades a day in 22 weeks, you're earning 5 grand a week. So if you just want to get in, and I don't want to say you only have to trade 30 minutes a day, because that's really not true. I recommend you spend a bit of time watching the charts, getting yourself in sync. This is a pattern solving exercise, but I've got techniques that if you've blown your account a number of times, how we're going to rebuild your confidence and your competence. Now you'll notice here that I talk a lot about trading into pivots, open, high, low, and close levels. And if you're a new trader, you've never heard of these before, don't worry about it. It's not rocket science. All of these plot automatically on your charts. It's really straightforward. So the question is, how are we going to do it? So let's go to the recording and I'll play it back and let's have a look at how we're going to achieve our targets. So what I've got here is a 2-tick chart. Okay, so here one thing I didn't show, I don't think, did I? No, I didn't. Hang on, we'll go to that recording. Let me just show you here. So this is it's 2:40 now, so just going back to 2 a.m. so just a few minutes ago here on the chart. Okay, I fired off another 6 trades, total different, as you'll see, than the recording we're about to have. These trades here, there's nothing complicated about them. Okay, these are all patterns. I trade patterns. Now in this case, I had 6 from 6, hit 33 after, so that's $333 per contract. My target's 3,250. Now a couple of these only picked up a couple of ticks per move, because I'm a nervous Nelly. If I think usually it's going to go against me, I might just cut the trade. But a bird in the hand's better than 2 in the bush. So just there, that was a great little session which I've just had, and I've recorded this. Look, I am literally dozens of these behind in producing. I only produce 1 or 2 videos a week. I'm too busy to do any more. So that is today, okay, Wednesday 25th of March. So let me now play back this recording here. And basically, if I was to show you, I've got these every day I trade. Now I've got the secret recipe. I only trade patterns. I only pay if I take a counter trend trade, it's got to be extremes, but I love trading with the trend, and I recommend all new traders trade with the trend. Now first of all, how do I define a trend? See on the left here how you've got, and there's the date there. So this is the recording I just did today is for session 162. So this is 155. So you can see there, and it's the 23rd, and you've got to take the weekend out. So I've got a recording for every day of live trading, by the way. So you'll see why my strike rate is so high. By the way, is it always 100%? No, but it's a good 80% plus because of the patterns I trade. Now follow the gold. See this gold line? When we start to flatten out, this is a danger zone. This is what we want to be trading. Now up here for members watching this is, yes, it's a T3, but the main thing is to be following the trend. Now I get up to here and I roll over. For members watching, I've now got a T10 trade which I'm in. A T10 trade is a reversal signal. It's based on a pattern, very reliable pattern, and it's best after you've had a number of waves. So I've in this trade I'm after 10 ticks. Now see this down here, this EMA, you'll probably see I'll go down and go to break even. I can't remember what happens here, but well, I know it's a winner because I got 6 out of 6, but you'll usually, now let me just stop right there. See that there? This is called my anchor chart. One of the secrets in what I do, I trade in the direction of a higher time frame. I look for the retracements and the trend continuations. Easy concept. And see that there, higher high, and I've got a double divergence on 2 separate indicators there, pointing out that on the higher time frame I've got major divergence. Now I was just telling you not to trade divergence. Well, trading 28 years, I'm pretty good at it. However, this one here is called a T10. It comes after a divergence trade, very high probability trade and ideal for all traders. Now as we pull back here, I'm expecting price to come somewhere down here, okay? And just note my target is on the other side, so I'm pointing some things out, just waiting. So this is live, a live recording, so it's just plotting away. See how my target is under this major EMA. Now there's no guarantee then I'm going to get under there. You'll be amazed how often we bounce. Now see what I just did there? I'm checking to see where the pivots are, okay, because pivots are very powerful for trading into and off. Now I'm now going to break even. I've now locked in a couple of ticks, and sometimes, I don't know if I do it here, sometimes I'll put my stop back up, but one thing I never ever do is increase my stop or hoping the market's going to retrace. That is, I have a 10 tick fixed stop and that is it as a maximum. So just here, what am I going to do? I'm going to tighten that up. See how we potentially are bouncing here. It's really frustrating because sometimes you'll get down and your target will be on the other side of a major EMA and we don't get filled. It bounces back up. So I'm and because it's off major divergence, I've got a very good chance this will follow through. So we'll just wait and see here. It's looking good. So 10 contracts is 1250, by the way, when you're going for a 10 tick target. Now on the way down, see I've got a pivot down here. That red line is actually called a Camarilla pivot, and up here is a traditional floor pivot. You can see the current day's high and yesterday's high, and yes, all of these indicators are included. Now if you're brand new and you're considering a trading platform, I have no affiliation with NinjaTrader, but an excellent platform. Now I'm just looking at all of the other prior trading opportunities. There was some beauties back there. Now I know I've got a very good chance of price coming down to this level. We are rolling over. I could see it on my higher time frame, and so I can remember here that I think it was on this one I might have been looking for another entry. Okay, and let's just see here, and there it is right there. So we're about to head down, and this is a Renko tail. Now a Renko tail, see those little tails there? They're a trend continuation setup. I only want to take them early in a new potential trend. I don't want to take them well and truly into a trend because quite often then we're heading towards a reversal. And you can see down here I'm expecting price to come down. Now on your trading platform, on your ATM, of course, you can have your stop losses put in there automatically, your targets, your break-evens. Now we can just see here. Now what am I doing here? Once again, on the higher time frame, I'm checking out we could get a bounce here. Now I'm already short. This is one of the risks when you sell or buy into major EMAs, and that's what I just pointed out just there. Okay, but I am short. I might just move this along a wee bit. Now I've brought my stop up. Okay, now it's very slow, so here I've typed that in, and here I'm probably thinking, now I can't remember whether I was thinking there. Look, I can't remember. It may have been I brought my stop up because it's slow. I'm still looking at the pivot, but I was getting worried because of that major EMA. Now remember, a bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. I'm just putting it. Remember what I mentioned, traders, is that if I think if I'm in the green and I'm losing confidence in the trade, it's better you get out, pick up a few ticks. Now here we'll see in a moment whether we get down. Usually we do. Okay, and here it is there. So yes, I know if I had have stayed in the trade. By the way, with every winning trade and losing trade, you've got to apply what we call black box thinking. What can I learn from this, particularly if it's a negative trade? Okay, so you want to try to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now this is a T3 pivot bounce. Now I just got in there for a quick scalp, and one of the reasons for that, you see how I've rolled over. I've got moving averages here. Now wish I'd have been in there a bit longer, but this is where quite often we'll then get a continuation to the short side. So and there it is right there, and I've gone short. Now see my entry. On what basis did I enter that trade? Once again, a signal on the higher time frame. It gives me a black and white entry signal, and tells me basically to go short. Now I've gone short. Here is my target. Now once again, if I get a wee bit worried about the trade, I'll usually get out early. Now on the other hand, quite often I regret getting out early. Like even there, I got out really early. That could have been a good 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Gee whiz, that could have been a 10 tick trade. Now if I was in this trade and after 10 ticks, as soon as I got up to that major EMA, I'm expecting a bounce, by the way. However, 8 ticks on 10 contracts, that's $1,000 less your commission. Okay, so we are short. I'm looking for the pivot down here. We've got a lower low followed by a lower high. Now if you're a new trader, once again, some of the lingo I'm using here is going to be new. However, once again, it's not rocket science. It's just a matter of spending a few hours attending training, watching the training videos, and by the way, focusing on only a limited number of setups. I've got two setups called the 34B and the 2B. Now that there is a 2B. Back there are a number of 34Bs. Very high probability trend following setups. So what you do is you start off with two specific setups only. Now I've now gone to break even plus 2 ticks. Now that means I've gone to my entry price and locked a couple of ticks in just there. Now I'm looking at this. Can I get through? Well, I'm out of that. So I've only picked up 2 ticks. That black line there, that represents, and we may get through this, that represents an EMA on a higher time frame on my anchor chart, and you'll be amazed at how often you bounce. And even then, remember about pivots I mentioned. See how you bounced off the pivot. I've got a little bounce here, but I know also is a very good chance we could continue to the short side. So we'll just continue to wait here. I'm going short again. Now when you sell hard up against the pivot, it is a higher risk trade. Okay, because pivots, and I've got a major EMA there, they can act as major support resistance levels. And in fact, if ever you have divergence, some of your best divergence trades come off pivots. Okay, and you can just see here, and you'll see in video after video where I talk about, and I'll scrunch my charts up looking for where the pivots are. Now as professional traders, we trade into those. That becomes actually a better way of putting it. See what I'm doing there, and I'm pointing at that pivot down there. It becomes, traders, virtually a self-fulfilling prophecy. But of course there's some rules to that. Now here I've kept my 10 tick stop in place. Quite often I'll pull my stop down where it's only 1 tick above. Now I can't remember what I do just here, so I'm pointing out the pivot there in the recording. So I might just hurry this along a wee bit. I know we've got a few more trades to go, so I'm pointing at that pivot. Now do I push through? Now I've now gone the break even and I'm locking in another tick. Now here's the risk with that. This could come back and just stop me out, which it has. Now remember where I spoke about just get on base, just keep getting in the green, keep getting in the green. Now with that being said, for the experienced traders and even for the new traders here, when I say that, it's no good scalping for say 1 or 2 ticks, yet you've got a 10 tick stop loss if your win-loss ratio is out the window. Here with the scalping, I'm 80 to 90% correct. So here in this case 6 out of 6, the numbers are on my side. So I just want to say that for those who are experienced, it's no good going for 1 tick scalps, 2 tick scalps all the time if your win-loss ratio is not great. You've got to have an outstanding win-loss ratio, which these are. And in fact, I want to show you something. I think it's in this PowerPoint. One moment. No, it's not in that PowerPoint. What it is that Al Brooks, in one of his slides, I quite often show this slide, he talks about scalpers winning 90% of the time and they make a great deal of money, and that's what we're doing here. Now your best trades here is following the gold, following the trend in the direction of the higher time frame. Okay, so here I've gone long here. Now if I remember correctly, did I see this one? Now here's an error, here's a mistake. Let me give you a great tip, by the way. See on my anchor chart here, I'm bouncing off a major EMA. Here I'm bouncing off potentially off the pivot, but I've entered the trade. See where it says NAC? Now that means I've made a mistake. My mistake is that I didn't have the anchor chart, no anchor chart 1 closing. So that is an error of mine. So normally I'd be in at 67.25. Now I know the trade still works out, but be very careful. You double check when you're clicking on your dome on your ATM or on your chart trader. It's very easy to click on the wrong number, which is what I did there, and so it got me in early. Now I've tightened my stop, so I've only got a 8 tick stop instead of 10. Here the candle hasn't closed, and I'm pointing this out. Why? Because it's how my students learn, my members learn. If I fluff up, hey guys, don't do this, you've got it, and here's the reason why. Now I'm going to just quickly move my camera over to the bottom left so we can clearly see this here. Now note up here I've got a potential target up. Well, my final target of 10 ticks is way up there. Good chance we'll get a bounce here. See how our major EMAs are heading down. I'll just move this along. Okay, so we're getting up here. Now note how I've gone the break even now. Now this is a counter trend trade. Counter trend trades are higher risk. Okay, so we're about to hit our final target, are we? Note here I'm tightening my stop because I don't want to give all of that back, and I'm just pointing out there in the live video that we've got these major EMAs, which could mean or could result in, sorry, I'm just watching the market here, what's happening, the market, which could result in a bounce. Now here I'm thinking let's lock in another tick. Now with this trade then I also can see on my matrix that I'm about to hit my target 325, so I'm quite happy then to get out of a trade if I can see that I'm going to hit it right, and see I'm locking in another tick. There's a very good chance I may bounce. Now what happens here? There it is. Well, perhaps I would have got my full target there, but what we can see here is 6 scalps for 6 wins, and I don't know what happens there, whether we get a bounce thereafter and head back down, quite possibly. But traders, everything I trade I've just shown you here is based on a pattern. Now in a couple of minutes time we are about to have the London Open, So let me just pause this one moment. You might like to see this. So I've just turned the camera off for ease here. Now as far as setups go, you had a potential setup just there. You've had one there, one there, one there. Now that was a beautiful reversal, and let's just have a look on the anchor chart one. Yep, see how I've got a higher high and I've got divergence. See that just there? That's called a pivot bounce T3, and it's a divergence setup. Do you know, traders, that's nothing more than a pattern. That's all it is when you see you're approaching either the high of day or you're approaching a pivot, you either want to tighten your stops or get ready for a setup. Now this here we can see, and for members watching, there is your plain vanilla T10. Now the market opens in 1 minute. Now it is 3 a.m. now the daylight savings is over. It's 3 a.m. Central Standard Time that the London session opens and really fires up. I prefer a slower market. Why? Just because it gives you more time to place your trades, etc. So traders, we've covered a lot in these sessions. This is not rocket science. It's a matter of just learning to look for the patterns. Do I have a major EMA bounce? If so, do I have the entry that meets the rules? All of these setups are all rules based. All of them are, such as being very careful when we've got a bounce around the London Open. Now see that there? See how quick we're moving. So in my training, I'm teaching you when to also sit on the sidelines, when not to enter a trade. Anyway, this has gone far too long, this video. So traders, you can join using a link below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You get lifetime access to the members area. Now when you join, don't forget to watch the welcome videos. Okay, there are 2 members areas you get into, one for brand new traders and this one for more advanced. New traders get both areas, by the way, but make sure you're watching both areas, the welcome videos, which will just direct you where to go and where to download your indicators, where to start. And don't forget, you can attend some of my 8 live coaching sessions. Now you're able to type in questions, and these are really designed to truly fast track you there. All right traders, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in one of my sessions.